Here I come again with yet another new cast-on. Well, actually, it's not a new cast-on. It's a cast-on I've heard of before. And you can actually find the directions for this cast-on in Principles of Knitting by Miss Hyatt. It's just a cast-on I've never actually done. I saw it and I said, well, it's not that different, so I'm not going to bother. We're going to start out with a long tail. You're going to want a longer tail than average. I would say 4 times the length that you're casting on. So if you're casting on 20 inches, you want 4 times 20. If you're casting on 10 inches, you want a 40-inch tail, so on. I have a pretty short tail here, a little over 18, 20 inches. Let's see how far we go with it. You're going to want 2 needles. I have a size 8 needle and a size 4 needle. Clearly they're very different, so you can see which is which. You can start with a slip knot, or as I do, just a simple cross stitch. And we're going to do pretty much a standard long tail. You're going to go into this loop with both needles. You're going to just wrap the index finger yarn around the single large size 8 needle. You're going to take that out. That's pretty normal, only now you're going to catch it on the smaller needle. Snug it up, and you can actually snug it up pretty snug, because this needle is always going to control, the blue needle is always going to control the size of the cast-on row, and you're never going to get it too tight. Now, go back into position, but before you take the next stitch, I want you to bring the needles under and over and make a 100-degree circle. That puts a twist in the yarn, and then we're going to do it again. Both needles into the thumb loop. The index finger yarn only on the large needle. The thumb loop over both needles, and now caught only on the lower needle. Snug it up, and again, remember, we're going to snug it pretty snug, and then we're going to take the needles, bring them down, under, up, and put a twist in. Both, one, the other, snug, rotate. Both, one, the other, snug, and rotate. Both needles into the thumb. The thread only over the larger needle, the thumb needle only on the smaller needle. Again, rotate. And then again, both into the thumb needle. One onto the larger needle, the other loop onto the smaller needle, snug, rotate. Both, one, the other, done, rotate. Both, one, the other, done, and rotate. Now, the rotation, let's look at the underside, causes these interlocking stitches at the bottom, and this actually changes the appearance of the long tail when it's done, and it changes it in a very clever way. And I've actually found now a matching bind off, so I'm going to continue casting on a bit, and just so I have a reasonable number, about 20, and I am at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So both, one, out, the other, and done. Both, one, the other, done. You can think of, I'm going to take those 2 off, because I realized I forgot to rotate, because the rotation is part of it. And okay, so I'm going to stop, as I say. I'll come back in a few seconds when I've got all the rotate. Both, one, the other, done. 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 Both one, the other, done. Both one, the other, done. Oops. I'm almost out of tail, so I'm going to stop soon. And let's just finish up this little bit of yarn. One last stitch. One last stitch. Both one, the other, done. And let's see what we have. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Oh, I wanted 21. I'll go with 19. So that's how it's done. Now, once it's done, you remove this needle and wait till you see what happens. In terms of being stretchy, takes a few minutes to work it out. But what's going to happen is you're going to find, wow, look at those stitches, how they stretch out. This is a 9-inch needle, and it covers just about 20 stitches, fills the needle. So it really has a lot of stretch. So I'm going to stop now and do some ribbing, and then I'm going to show you the matching bind off.